different than the Hamilton police and reported her missing. No, runaway and a thief. And somehow it bounced over to Hamilton. Her case got handed over to Hamilton. So originally he reported to a police department that didn't know anything about her, okay?
Gotcha.
So now the case is listed in the Allegan County Police Department, and I'm not really sure how that happened, as she's a runaway and a thief for 20 years. For 20 years, that's what they had on their books. She had run away, and she had stolen Dennis Bowman's money before she left. Now, what better way could a con set up a 14-year-old, huh?
But the thing is, the question I was asking you about is the home that they live in today, because I believe off the air you
honey,
told...
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
What happened was they moved out 6 months after she vanished, and they disappeared. But in that 6 months, a little girl was abducted along Dennis Bowman's work route and taken from the road he worked off of 17 miles to a park right around the corner from him. But the guy, whoever he was, got spooked and ran off. 6 months later, or just a few months later, they moved from that house that Alexis ran away from, okay? And then in 2006, the house was torn down. Now, I've had all that property searched, all of it. Across the road, under the road, it's all been searched. She's not there. But in the time that he went missing, he bought the property he lives on now, okay? So she accuses him of molesting her November of 1988. Somewhere right before that or right after that, he purchased the land he lives on now, and I think that's where her body is. And it's only about 6 miles from where that house that she was living in when he reported she ran away from used to stand.
Okay, very interesting. So he bought this land before he moved into it?
That's right. And now get this, we researched that property, and he used that property as his mailing address, but there was no taxable livable structure on that property until 1996. So from 1989 or early 1990, I've got it searched. I don't know where I put it, but I've got it in my research of him. Anyway, he bought that property. Now, when you buy property and you're going to put a house on it, you put a slab, don't you? You dig a hole and you pour a slab. You dig a hole for the septic. You dig a hole for the light pole. Alexis went missing on the coldest winter Michigan had had in decades. He's not out there digging holes. But he knows there's holes being dug on the property that he's bought for a house he will put on there 6 years later. Now, he's not cooperating with the police. He has been offered a polygraph. He said, no, get off my property.
Do we know where he was living during that period of time when there was no structure on that property?
No. He just sort of dropped off the map.
But he was using that address as a mailing address. Is it possible he had Is it possible he had a motor home or some kind of trailer?
That's right. That's exactly what happened. His mother and Brenda's mother and stepfather own about 6 trailers in Holland.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. And it's in his name or in their name. The electricity, the cable, the everything. It's in her parents' name. So they're living under the radar, and he's working in Grand Rapids. They have written off Hamilton. But he bought that property in Hamilton, and he owned it all those years until 96. Then they put a house on it and moved in.
Okay. So, and you
he won't let us search that property. He won't cooperate with the police.
Now, what about the biological daughter? Does she live on that property, too?
She sure does.
Okay.
As soon as they found out I was on the scene, she dropped out of college and moved back home. She had an apartment in Kalamazoo, in his name, too.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because they're 67. They're not going to be around much longer.
No, they're not. But you know what I'm going to do? And you can cut this out.
Yeah. Oh, no, I can't cut it out. I can't cut it out. I can't cut it out. Don't say it.
An investigative
No, I can't cut it out. I can't cut it out. You hear me?
Huh?
I can't cut it out. So don't say something
don't cut it out.
Yeah,
an investigative subpoena is going to be served on this man. Okay. He's going to step up there and plead the fifth. I'm going to turn around and sue him for that property he's on, and I'm putting dogs on it.
After he dies, you're saying, or now?
Huh?
What, you're saying you're going to do this now or after he passes?
I'm going to do it as soon as he pleads the fifth after that investigative subpoena is served him.
Okay, and when's this going to happen?
Well, according to the police, it's going to happen, but they have messed it up so many times that they got to make sure it happens, and they're going to be very careful about it. So your guess is as good as mine.
Okay. And you know this is going to air. This is going to broadcast.
I don't care.
Okay.
You know what? It has to be, it's going to be told. It is the truth. They know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. What are we hiding here?
Okay. Now, this story has been, there's a promo that broadcast John Walsh is broadcasting this on Justice Network. He has like a little promo thing he does about this?
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing a public service announcement.
Right.
And it was really the first one they did. And they've run it now 2 years in a row. In the month she went missing. Twice a day.
So now this is interesting because now you only got this Facebook page, right? And you've only had this since like 2010, I believe, right?
Oh, but wait, Ed, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to share this with you. Do you remember that video, Runaway, the song Runaway Train?
Yeah, how does that fit in? I heard about that. Go ahead, how does that fit in?
She was in it. Her face is in that video.
Now, what was that band again that did that?
It was Soul Asylum.
Right, and it was a really creepy song about kids that run away, and then at the end they have a tag of different kids that were really missing in real life who ran away, and they would rotate.
They did several versions of it.
Right.
They did several versions of it.
And so
in some, they ran the kids in like they would play a section of the song, and then during the chorus they would show the kid's face, and then it would go back to what the video was about, kids being abused, molested, sold into human trafficking, and then it would flash another kid's face, and then my daughter's face came up right after they loaded a dead prostitute into the back of a gurney. So it was really shocking. Was shocking. Okay,
well, did you know about this?
I saw it in New Orleans. I saw it in New Orleans before I found out about this.
Wow.
I saw her face on that video.
And it's before they knew about you too, though, right?
Oh yeah, it was in 1993.
Now, how did this band know that she wasn't just a runaway that, like everyone had claimed?
Well, see, the way they had kind of used the song it sort of encompassed a lot of not just runaways, children that just went missing, children that were literally, they show one scene where a child just snatched right out of her little stroller, so not runaway, and then some were abused adults. They had a little section that while the song's playing, here's an old guy hitting his wife in the face. Boom, So it's that kind of thing, a child running from a home like that, or a person gone missing with that kind of relationship in their history. What I found out, interestingly, in this was that with regards to how they put these children on there is that they had to approach the parents and have them sign off. You can't just put a kid's face out there in public without the parents saying okay.
Right.
So it sort of solidified it for Alexis. She's a runaway.
Gotcha. And they used the name Alexis Bowman.
They used Aundria M Bowman.
Aundria M Bowman. Okay, gotcha. Because they used the name Alexis.
See, nobody knew her name was Alexis till I showed up.
Now, I want the audience...
I take that back. One of the things she told that detective was, or rather Bowman told that detective was that Alexis supposedly in their story was upset because they told her she was adopted. And all they told her was her first name was Alexis. So part of that, identifying information when you talk about the child was last seen at XYZ place, and it's part of that.
Fascinating. Now, for the audience listening to this, I recall we had discussed that video once before, and there was some other odd little thing that went on in that video as well, with something that connected to something. I forget what it was. So if somebody remembers me talking about that, or the guest we had on, get a hold of me and remind me about that. Okay, wow. We only got a few minutes left. What do you think we covered? Is there anything I forgot to ask you?
Well, actually, no, and I told you more than I intended, but that's okay, too.
Okay.
I think, her story's been buried for so long. This is 28 years, okay? This man has been free, stalking his community for 28 years. So, if nothing else, I'm trying to forewarn people out there that not only he is a grandfathered in sexual offender, not on any kind of list, but there are many of them. And this man was at a Girl Scout. His wife ran a Girl Scout club, and she went to Sunday school and had Sunday school classes. He was in every last frame.
Frame of what?
And adoption? I used to think adoption was the thing that saved my daughter. It got her killed.
Wait, you said he was in every last frame? Every last frame of what?
Of the little Catholic, or the little Sunday school class that Brenda was teaching. He was there in every last one of them.
Oh, really?
The little Girl Scout club that she.
Did I lose
every
it?
last one of them.
Okay. All right. I'd like to say something now. If Dennis Bowman or Brenda Bowman or even the daughter that they have, if they want to come and you know, present their side of the story or answer any kind of questions, they're welcome to come on the show. Do you have contact information for them?
They live in Hamilton, Michigan.
Okay.
He's since disconnected his phone since he won't take a polygraph, and has basically told the police to pound sand. So I can give you his address.
Okay,
I know it by heart.
All right, yeah,
Would
we'll
you
try.
like it?
Yeah, well, not right now, but send it to me later, and we'll shoot them a note and see if they want to come on the air and maybe have some answers.
Well, they've refused already one television station. Remember the little girls that escaped the house in Cleveland,
Yeah.
and how it sort of sparked that renewed hope that these little girls would be found and brought home? The Bowmans a whole show was done about Alexis, on news, probably 3 minutes max. And they approached the Bowmans, and they said, hey, you want to come out and talk about this? And the Bowmans said, no, we're still too devastated. She was afraid she was going to go to foster care because she was adopted. That's all they said.
But you did have some conversation once with their daughter, their biological daughter.
She cussed me out. Then she came at me like she was going to attack me.
Okay.
So, no, not really.
Okay. No,
She does deny, we'll put this in here, she does deny Alexis ever existed, and that's online.
Oh, she's saying that there was no sister.
That's right.
Well, that's
she never existed. Doesn't have a sister.
That's it. Well,
She was asked point blank, do you have a sister? She said no.
And she was only like 18 months or something like that. You said when your daughter went missing. Okay. Now,
but my point is, why would they wipe her whole memory out of that child? Why wouldn't they keep her memory alive of Alexis?
Right, like pictures in the house or something like that.
That's right.
Right.
Now, I understand from a girl that the biological daughter went to school with, there were pictures of Alexis all over the walls.
Oh, wait, one more time.
In the Bowman house.
So they did have pictures of your daughter in the house.
That's right. But this girl turned around online, answered a questionnaire, did she have a sibling, and said no.
Okay. And you would think, too, if your daughter was 14 years old at the time that this little child, the biological daughter, was born, there would be pictures of a 14-year-old holding the brand-new baby in the house. That's just a natural pose. The two sisters, yeah. Now, okay, very interesting. Now, this girl, the biological daughter, too, now, what is her age today?
She's 30 years old today.
30 years old today. Now, does she have kids, married, or anything like that? Do we know?
No, never been married. Went to college. I don't believe received her degree, but studied history and has had 6 jobs since she's been working. Can't hold a job down.
Let me ask you a question.
She's 5'2" and weighs 300 pounds.
Have we ever considered the possibility, has anybody looked into this, this biological daughter could actually be the biological daughter of your daughter?
Isn't that frightening? But she's not. My daughter's beautiful. My daughter's beautiful. She's a beautiful kid. You look at this girl, not so much. She looks just like them.
Okay, but if it was...
She has inherited every bad gene they had.
Okay. But that would be the biological father. Okay. But there's no...
They did say in some of the sightings Brenda called in that Alexis was sighted pregnant.
Oh, really?
Now, I talked to the girl who convinced me that the pregnant bleach blonde that they thought might be Alexis wasn't her at all, because that pregnant bleach blonde was 5'11".
What about some kind of civil suit? Have you talked to an attorney about some kind of civil suit where you would require DNA from this sister to... Is that even possible medically?
No, if you look at her, she's nowhere near. She's not related to my daughter.
Okay.
Just take a look at her.
Okay, I haven't seen any of the pictures, but just when you look at the timeline here, this whole thing is very...